On your marks. Set. Walk!
To the uninitiated, the term race walking may seem like a contradiction. The reality is that the sport, often mislabeled as speed walking, has been around for centuries.
Race walking started out as a sport for wager in the late 1700s, where all the mansions would put up their wait staff and they would have race walking challenges for money.
Ed O'Rourke is president of the New England Walkers Club and a 42-year veteran of the sport.
When you're race walking, your whole body is involved and your upper body has to be in good shape.
It's a lot of hip switching.
If you're a runner and you want to burn more calories, I would suggest you become a race walker.
How does one become a good race walker?
Practice.
With that, I take to the track for some expert instruction.
Take a normal stride, but I want that stride to have your heel out.
Okay.
And then we're going to push through the foot and then do the same thing on the other foot. Let's roll.
Race walkers must always have a foot on the ground and keep a straight leg as it passes under your body, or risk disqualification.
Okay, so am I made for this?
You're really good.
Okay.
But am I fast?
The fastest mile that was probably recorded is 10 miles per hour.
Okay, that record is safe for the moment, but as former Canadian Olympic race walker Ben Thorne told me, the competition is fierce.
There's a ton of countries that compete, so in race walking, you might have countries that wouldn't normally win medals in Olympic events who can sneak in and win medals.
As my training continues, I can't help but see gold.
Maybe race walking is in my future.
But first, I'll have to beat out talented young race walkers like Megan Allen.
My goal is to make Team USA. My coach, one of my first races, he gave me a Team USA jersey and he said, you're gonna wear this until you can get one of your own. So I'm still working to pay him back.
Walkers with longer legs, do they have more of an advantage?
As long as you're determined, you'll be able to get there.
From race walking in Cambridge to pedaling on Boston Harbor, next up, a unique way to tour the city at your own pace.
I'm Ed Cardinale. I'm one of the owners of Cycleboat Boston. People can come on board. They can pedal as much as they like, as little as they like. We do an inner harbor tour. It's just a fun way to be out on the water.
What started out as one boat and a dream for Ed and his wife Rosie 4 years ago has grown to a fleet of 3.
I think probably half of our staff is family or very close friends. When it's a family business, you know, there's a real interest in making sure your customers are happy. My wife, Rosie, is really popular with the passengers.
The boat's paddle wheel is people-powered, but if you're pedaling for speed, you may be missing the point.
The normal pedaling speed is about 4 knots. It tends to be more of a socializing event. But at 4 knots, we can get really close to the shore, so our passengers can interact with some of the people on shore. They can see these really interesting historic sites close up. And I think we're about one of the only boats that actually does that.
For a complete change of pace, we hit Long Wharf, where we find the iconic anchor of a different fleet, Boston Harbor City Cruises' Codzilla.
Codzilla is a thrill ride on the water. So we're going 45 miles an hour, doing spins and stops. And there's also a lot of really loud music going on, so it's just a whole adventure experience.
Chronicle first boarded Codzilla when the boat started thrilling riders in 2008. And there's no secret to why it's still going strong.
Look at it. It's, you know, it just looks like fun to get on it. And everybody wants to get wet in the summer and have a fun wild ride.
Hey, how are you?
With no further ado, I hit the deck where I meet Captain Adam and head out.
Look at that. This is gorgeous out here.
But when it's time to go fast, I take my seat.
I'm ready.
And Codzilla does not disappoint.
Great, but it's so beautiful and calm out here. What a contrast to just a few minutes ago, but what a thrilling adventure and ride.
They tell us the trick to staying dry, or maybe just a little less wet on Codzilla, is actually to sit up front. The boat goes so fast that the front lifts out of the water a bit, pushing those big waves toward the back. As for Cycleboat Boston, they recently added a 4th boat to their fleet named the Boston Patriot.